Hey guys, Travis here from Alberta Backroad, and today I'm going to show you how I installed this synthetic rope on my Smittybilt XRC 9,500 pound winch. Before I get into that though, I want to talk about a couple of the benefits to running a synthetic rope as opposed to a steel winch cable, which is why I opted to go in this direction. Now, one of the main things that really did it for me on installing a synthetic line is the fact that when a synthetic line breaks, when you're pulling something, the line just drops. The energy is dispersed immediately. There's no risk of injury. Now when a winch cable breaks, it gets pretty violent. I've seen them damage Jeeps, I've seen them hit people, I've seen them hospitalize a fellow one time. They get pretty scary. So we don't want any of that to happen, especially if we're out wheeling with a lot of our friends and so on and so forth. Another reason is repairability. Now, this winch line, if it breaks in the field, it's pretty easy. I can tie a knot in that and get myself out of the situation that I'm into, and replace it farther on down the line. It is really, really simple to repair this line in the field. It's a couple good knots. It'll get you out of this spot you're stuck in. Simple as that. Another thing too, weight and fraying. I mean, it's rope. It doesn't fray, and if it does fray, it's not going to tear your hand apart if you get your hand caught in it. It's another good thing about it. Weight, it's super light. I mean, I think it's 92 feet of line on this winch right now, and it might weigh 10% as much as the 50 feet of steel cable that I had just removed. It's another added bonus to it. So, without further ado, let's jump into the installation. So the first thing we're going to do is remove this winch cable. Alright, so once we have our winch line all pulled out, we're going to go ahead and remove this screw that retains the winch line to the winch drum. Okay, so next we're going to remove the fair lead for the winch, and that's held in there by two bolts and nuts. Bolt here, nut on the back of the bumper there. Getting the nut behind the bumper can be a little tricky. To make accessing these bolts a little bit easier, I'm going to disassemble the fair lead by removing the drums. The drums are held in there by a rod, which is retained by a little E-clip, like so. And all you need is a flathead screwdriver to pop that clip out. Just like that. Then your pin slides right out like that, and then the drum can be removed. Just like that. So put the winch fair lead drums removed, you can get a wrench in on each bolt pretty easily. And then we're just going to use a ratchet and remove the nut. Okay, so with the old fair lead removed, we're going to go ahead and install the new fair lead in the same spot using the same hardware. Now, as you can see, this particular bumper, this bumper is a rough country. You can change the fair lead without removing the bumper. It takes a lot of patience, but I can't speak for other bumpers. Some of them you may be able to, some of them may be easier, some of them may be harder, some of them you may have to remove the bumper to change this. However, with the rough country, with a lot of patience and jamming your hands in everywhere, you can install this fair lead. Okay, so with our new fair lead installed, we're going to go ahead and start installing our new synthetic line. And with this particular winch, the line has to come around the top of the winch and screw in where we unscrewed the other one. Okay, so since this winch line has a bigger retainer than the original cable, we're going to have to use a longer bolt. Now the bolt that's used in this Smittybilt XRC winch to retain the cable or the line is simply a standard 6mm bolt. Okay, so one thing that I forgot to mention as well, that little bolt that you have to grab a longer one to mount that up because it's thicker, you have to make sure that that bolt is not too long. If it is too long, it will strike the inside of the winch drum and prevent you from free spooling out your winch or things like that. So yeah, make sure it's the right length. Make sure that you can turn the winch by hand prior to tightening everything up and going on to reel it all in. Okay, so with our winch line bolted up and ran the proper way, now we're just going to spool in our winch. Okay, so after we have it all spooled in, we'll put our hook on there. And suck it in tight. Just like that, we're finished. Alright, so we got our winch line done, installed. We got 92 feet of synthetic line on here, and it just fit. It's a little tight, but it fit pretty good, and I kind of like the look of this fairly. The simplicity of it, I kind of like it, and got big rollers in the way and whatnot. If you did like this video, or you found it informative or helpful in any way, be sure to like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, concerns, leave it in the comments below. Alright, thanks a lot for watching.